lid. You've won 100,000.
What's up everyone, and welcome back to Top 5 Central. Family Feud, Jeopardy, Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader, and a couple more have been some of those popular TV shows for decades. In the time they've been running, they've had rich people, smart people, but more importantly clever people, so today we're looking at the 5 biggest game show cheaters that got exposed. So yeah, we decided to turn our little exposed videos into a full-on series, so if you have any suggestions on ideas, make sure to like the video, subscribe, and comment them for a chance to get a shout out in our next episode. But anyways, let's get right into the video. Number 5. You might not know this, but back in the day, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire was basically the biggest game show in Britain. The goal is in the title, you had to win £1 million by answering questions, but like most game shows, no one made it to the end. With that said, Charles Ingram managed to make it through round after round, and he eventually won the jackpot, as well as a spot in pretty much every newspaper the next day. Sounds awesome, right? Well, it would have been if he hadn't been cheating the whole time. His method was super obvious, but super clever. He just got his wife to sit in the live studio audience and cough whenever the right answer came up. Not just that, but he ended up with even more than $1 million, because his wife and his brother-in-law had also played the game and won over 30 grand each. When they were found out, Charles had to step down from being mayor and pay a bunch of fines, but none of it came close to what he had won in the first place. So I guess the lesson learned here is, if you can get away with it, do it.
Very popular. God. You just won $1 million! The most amazing contestant we have ever had.
Number 4. Now the last guy cheated for money and fame, but this girl, well, her reason is actually quite sweet. I mean, she was already famous as a model and a TV personality, so it wasn't like the stakes were super high anyway, but she decided to cheat for one really odd reason. Basically, she had to identify well-known songs just by hearing them, but she didn't know if she was smart enough to manage it. In fact, she was so worried about looking stupid that she decided to cheat instead, keeping her phone in her lap and using that. So what'd she do? Well, she downloaded Shazam to identify the songs for her, but it backfired in a really epic way. I'm not joking, the screen lit up and her phone vibrated when the app sent her a text, which rumbled her whole plan live on air. Now to be fair, she did confess as soon as she was asked what was going on, and the host was even impressed that she was brave enough to cheat. Not just that, but the audience didn't even mind either. They actually said it was the most entertaining episode they had seen in forever.
¿Disfrutáis con esta canción?
Eso es. A ver.
Venga, ¿qué tienes ahí, Adri?
¿El qué? ¿Cuándo?
¿Qué tienes ahí debajo?
Cristian, están haciendo trampas. Están haciendo trampas.
¿Tienes el teléfono ahí?
No tiene nada.
Estoy con el sofá.
A ver, enséñaselo.
Eso no tiene nombre.
Lo apago. A ver, yo digo, oye, si cuela.
Yo sabía que deberíais darnos los puntos directamente, como siempre.
Pero escucha, pero eso lo comentamos antes, pero lo comentamos de coña.
No.
Sí.
A ver, que ya no lo tengo, No lo tengo.
Pero ¿cómo te has dado cuenta de eso, Cristian?
Pero escucha, porque había una cosa azul dando vueltas. Pero oye, yo creo que... Yo creo que había que premiar porque en 7 años nadie lo ha hecho, ¿eh?
No puedo creer.
O sea, no habría que castigar, es originalidad.
Number 3. Okay, so I guess this guy didn't technically cheat, but he definitely didn't play the game the way it was supposed to be played. Confused? Well, this 19-year-old law student seemed to be confused too, but he knew exactly what he was doing the whole time. Basically, he went through this quiz show not knowing a single answer and switching between options super fast before picking one at random. The thing is, he actually had a plan and guessed the correct answer every single time, just by watching the host's face and body language. It sounds crazy, I know, but the kid obviously had a talent for reading faces because he ended up walking away with over 100 grand. He even confessed in an interview afterwards that he was playing the host instead of the game, and no one could make up their mind about whether that was cheating or not. I actually think it's kinda genius, but I'll throw it over to you guys. Do you think he broke the rules? Let me know in the comments, because I'd love to see whether you guys would use the same strategy if you could.
This is for $100,000 cash. So far, you've not known the answer to any of the questions.
Maybe I make you think that I don't know the answer.
Ah, of course, it's just got it all happening here, Khalid. Khalid, this is for one.
And if you want to know my thought process, it was like, I haven't done D in a while, so I'll choose it. Time before I become the best lawyer in the world.
Right. You've won $100,000.
Number 2. So this is another weird one, because I've got to be honest, it isn't really the contestant that's cheating. Yeah, you heard me right, the contestant didn't do anything wrong. It's more like they were cheated by the show. Here's the story. This woman went on Wheel of Fortune, and she was killing the game the whole way through. With that said, right at the end, she was told her answer couldn't be accepted, even though it was basically right. If you're confused, don't worry, I mean so was she, because the reason her answer wasn't accepted is beyond ridiculous. Like, she said all the right words, so her guess was correct, but because of her accent, they couldn't take it. The catch was that she said swimmin' instead of swimming with a G at the end, and I guess it technically meant she didn't say the same word. Now obviously the internet wasn't happy about this, and she seemed pretty confused. Even the host had to double check. Not just that, but the woman she was competing against also seemed to think the whole thing was a little off, even though she got the prize money in the end.
A lot of people are upset at the game show Wheel of Fortune this morning. It all has to do with this contestant right there. She guessed the right words, but she was told she lost anyway. ABC's John.
This morning we hear from the woman who many say was robbed because of her pronunciation and southern accent.
Renee Durrett can taste victory. She's got the winning answer.
I'd like to solve.
Yep.
7 swans a-swimming.
Yeah, that's... Or so she thought. Even host Pat Sajak has to backtrack. Listen again as she drops her G, pronouncing swimming as swimming.
7 swans a-swimming.
Yeah, that's not... Yeah. Can't accept that.
That's kind of how I speak, you know, being from Florida. And I had asked for the G, so I knew it was there.
Judges said the answer violated the rules because it was spoken in vernacular. The Twitterverse lit up with outrage. Wheel of Fortune hates Southerners. Wheel of Fortune game show cheated a contestant for not emphasizing the G.
And if you start to sing the song, it's...
Number 1. Okay, so you might think cheating on a game show is a fairly new thing, but it's actually been going on for way longer than you probably expect. I mean, this scandal happened way back in the 1950s, but it was so juicy that people have been talking about it ever since. Here's the quick version. Charles Van Doren was a super smart teacher who was invited by a friend to go on a game show called 21 because everyone thought he'd have a shot at beating the current champion. Amazingly, he did, ended up with a full TV career, not to mention an amount of money that'd be worth well over $1 million today. Sounds absolutely amazing, I know, but years later it came out that he had been cheating all along, mailing himself both the questions and the answers ahead of time. Even worse, the studio had actually told him that was normal, and he had to do it because he could never beat the champion all by himself. To be fair, when he realized he was tricking people, he confessed right away, and seemed super upset about it, but his TV career was never the same.
You as we are, and deservedly so. Thank you for being a wonderful contestant. Top5Central, ladies and gentlemen, nighttime ball. Well, he went home with $49,500. You've got $20,000 right now, Charles Van Doren. Come back next week. Tell us whether you want to continue playing or quit. Our congratulations for a wonderful victory. Good night to Charles Van Doren, ladies and gentlemen. Friends, we don't have time. Remember Geritol and Geritol Jr., wonderful products. Goodbye, everybody. See you next week. Thank you.
And there's our video on the top 5 biggest game show cheaters caught on camera. If you enjoyed the video, please feel free to leave a like down below and subscribe to see whenever I upload a video. Also, if you have your own top 5 or top 10 idea, feel free to search me handy form in the description to submit it. With that said, thank you for watching, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.